Hi, friends. How are you? I hope you're having an amazing Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. If you've never seen me live on Facebook for Transformation Tuesday, what I do is I hop on here and just interview some different people who've had different health transformations, whether it be, physical transformations or mindset or anything like that. With people who have used my nutritional cleansing system. And this way, you guys can see that these are real people with real results. And you're also more than welcome to hop on and ask some questions. Usually I have two computers running with the questions. Today, I'm not able to do that. So if I miss one of your questions, just know that we'll definitely answer it after. But I'm so excited to have my amazing friend Donna with me today. We met, I don't know, how long ago do you think it was that we met?
Well, I think we started talking, like we would talk through conference calls. Like I knew of you. Like Jonathan would talk about you all the time and he'd be like, have you met Jacqueline? Blah, blah. Like, and I think there was like when you were having your baby, like your husband was on one of the calls or something like that. I'm not sure. I remember you always just coming up. Like you were always coming up and I was like, I need to like do that. But it wasn't until this last celebration that I like met you in the flesh and I was like, Jacqueline.
It's really crazy. So Donna and I have known each other for probably like 3 or 4 years, but we met for the first time in August. And it's been really awesome. And Donna, you're such an amazing person. You're so inspiring. And I'm so excited to have you on to share your story with us tonight. So for you guys who have joined us for the first time, like I said, this is what I do every Tuesday. I hop on here. I ask people questions about their transformation journey with our nutritional cleansing system. And I'm so excited that you're here tonight. So I'm just going to jump right in on the questions that I have for Donna. And we probably won't stay on course this time. Usually it's crazy because I send the same questions to different people each week, and it's a completely different interview every single time, which I think is really, really cool. So the first question that I have for you is, how long have you been using our nutritional cleansing system?
I have been on it 3 years. This last August, I believe, is when I first started. So 3 years ago, I've been using it every single day.
That's awesome. That's really exciting.
I like to say that it's like my longest relationship I've ever had. Like a real relationship.
That's so funny. So what made you like decide that this was something that you wanted to do? Like, were you looking for a physical change? Like, what were you looking for when you first decided to start?
So, it's so crazy because there's so many different parts of it. I was actively a bodybuilder. And so I was going to the gym every single day. I was counting my macros, so my fats, proteins, and carbs, and making sure that I was eating stuff that I needed to every single day. I was so hard at the gym. I wanted to do a bikini competition and do all this kind of stuff. And so I was getting all into this. But on the other side, there was also like a yearning for something more because I was a cocktail waitress and I was just like burnt out by being a makeup artist, and I didn't want to do that anymore because I went to school for makeup specifically, and I'd gotten burned out by that. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to be a makeup artist anymore. I'm in hair school for no reason because I didn't even like hair, but I just wanted to finish it. And then I was also a cocktail waitress. And so it was just so many like different things, and I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. And so the night before I heard about Isagenix, this is so weird, and I haven't told very many people, I watched for the first time the movie The Secret, and it was the night before. And on that, there was this part where it talked about the law of non-resistance, where if you're asking for something with like a pure intent and pure heart, and you're like really putting that out, there's this vibration that goes out. And so the universe is trying to find something that's going to bring it back to you so that you can go in that direction. And so I was like, what do I really want? Like, what do I really need? And I was like, I want something that can help my finances. That, you know, I didn't really care about health. I thought it was healthy. I wanted something for finances because driving to, you know, over the gorge, I had to drive 45 minutes every single day to go and be a cocktail waitress and have these guys howling at me and getting people drunk. And I just didn't like find fulfillment in that. And so it's just like, what can I really do, you know, that's going to help me? At the time, I was also helping some friends with nutrition and going to the gym. And when I was helping them with the macro side, I would have all these people that'd be like, what do you do for your protein? I'm always so low on protein at the end of the day. I feel like I cover my carbs and my fat, no problem. But as soon as I get to protein, I don't know what to do. And so I had all these things that were kind of going on in my head. And so that was the night before. And so I go to the gym the next day, not really thinking anything. And IFBB is a professional bodybuilding show. They have the NPC, which is the National Physique Committee, and then they have International Federation of Bodybuilding, which is IFBB. And a friend of mine named Jordan Jeffrey, who is a professional and has gotten his pro card and was a friend of mine, saw me kind of struggling. I could tell he kind of saw me struggling at the gym, respected me, and the people that, you know, I would hang out with all the time. And I overheard his now wife kind of say, why don't you go and ask her? And I was like, I don't know if he's talking about me, but, you know, I kept doing my workouts and they came over, and he's very shy. And he's just like, hey, would you like to come and check this out? And I was like, I just heard about this yesterday. My first inclination was to be like, nah, like, I don't want to do this kind of stuff. Like, you know, because I was like, what does that have to do with? And he's like, food and money. And I was just like, ding, ding, like, yes. But in my, you know, my first initial was just like, I'm not sure. After looking at him, I was like, okay, I respect you. If you're coming up to me, you know, and you look like this, I'm going to listen to you a little bit more. So he's like, we're having a meeting tomorrow. Would you please come? And I was like, sure, I'll just come to a meeting. And when I heard everything at the meeting, I was like, this is my law of non-resistance. This is what was placed in front of me, and it felt really good. And I was like, I need to do something about it. And so I had $7 in my bank account, I think, and I went and borrowed money from my ex-boyfriend and went and worked that night and made all the tips that I could so that I can make up my first pack. And it was so worth it. So worth it. So I just it was like a law of non-resistance thing. I was like, I asked for it and it came into my life and I just ran with it because that's what it said to do.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy because we've known each other for this long and I didn't really even know your story. Like, I did not know that about you. I think that is so freaking cool. So I have some questions around this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's a couple of things. Like, so you were clean eating, you were counting macros, like you were doing all this stuff to.
It wasn't even clean. That's the hard part. Because with macros, I was doing a version of it called IIFYM, which is if it fits your macros. And so I would fit like crazy stuff in I was eating for the most part, but there'd be times where I needed a lot of fat and carbs. And I'd be like, the only thing I could eat right now that would fit into that category is like a cheeseburger. Like, and it was weird because it helped me get out of a mental eating disorder that I had, where I was just so obsessed with what I was eating beforehand. I used to have really bad eating disorder before, and I would over obsess over every little thing that I was eating. And if I ate anything bad, I would beat myself up, and things came from that I shouldn't have done. And so it was just like, IIFYM, I feel, saved my thought process of being okay with eating a cheeseburger, not beating myself up. But everything predominantly was more clean. But I wasn't I was just eating a lot through the day. I was spending like $90 a day trying to fit all these calories because I had to cram them in at one time. And the cheapest thing was $15 that I could fit in my macros. And then I had to go home and cook a carton of egg whites when I was already so exhausted. And it was just, I was mentally worn out. And that's where I think I was. I was just like, I can't spend this money every day. Like I'm a cocktail waitress. Like I need either more money so that I can keep this up or like not do this anymore, like kind of thing. And so it was, I was very focused on what I was eating, but it wasn't necessarily super clean because of my finances. In my mind, I couldn't afford to eat anything healthy. And so I had to do it that way, kind of thing.
Well, and how many like egg whites can you really eat? I mean, like after you eat so many, it's like.
I was getting creative. I was like, and there'd be times when I didn't want to cook it and I'd be like, should I just put it in the microwave? But then it sticks to the thing. And I was like, and that's weird. And it was so much.
So how has this system, or how did this system make things easier for you? Like, how did you fit it in from like a macro standpoint? Like, what things did you do to make it easier for you?
Okay, so before, when I was kind of meal prepping, I would meal prep with a app called MyFitnessPal, and a lot of people have that. And so in the morning when I would wake up, I would kind of be like, okay, I need to have one carton of egg white. I'd kind of list off all the things that like I knew that I had to eat throughout the day, and then it would take up a majority of my macros, and then I would fit other little things to make sure that I hit my numbers. And that was my like meal prep. So it was just this like list of like foods that I was going to be eating throughout the day, and then I'd look at it and I'd be like, and I have a 9-hour shift and it takes me an hour to get there and an hour back. So like, when am I going to eat? And so when I saw it and they broke down what I was already spending every single day, my mind immediately was like, this is the best thing ever. I'm already spending this money. It's so much easier to get something that's I can incorporate. And so when I started using it, I would put it into MyFitnessPal. So I'd put 2 shakes, and then from there, a majority of my protein was taken up. My carbs, some of my carbs were taken up. And then I knew that the rest of the day I had to mold it a little more around fats and a little more protein and carbs, which is so much easier for me to eat, is fat and carbs because that's everywhere. And so it made my life, like, it relieved so much stress from my life, because I was like, barely anything for all these calories when I would be spending so much more for calories that really wouldn't be beneficial. And so when they started talking about quality of protein and all that kind of stuff, I was like, finally, something that I can suggest to the people that I was helping at the gym that I would actually want to put my name behind. And it wasn't until I actually put it in my body that I really started telling people, because I was still, even when I ordered it, I was still like, I need to know before I tell anybody, and then within 3 days, my body lit up. And so I was like, I need to tell everybody about this, and I started telling everybody I loved. But that's kind of where it was. I would set it up on my MyFitnessPal app, and, knowing that a majority of it, or while I was at work, that all I needed was a shaker cup, that I didn't have to go into the cafeteria and eat all their super like buffet food from, the casino. Like, it tasted good, but it wasn't anything that was going to benefit me. And I felt like I would sabotage myself every single time I was going to work before. And then it was just really easy to be like, oh, I have my shake, I'm not hungry. Like, I don't need to go and have that.
So throughout that process, what was the most challenging thing along the way for you?
As far as like getting started, as far as what?
As far as like achieving the results that you've achieved, like, because if you look at where you started and then, you know, you're working towards this bodybuilding competition and really getting fit, what was the hardest thing along the way for you?
Consistency. I had a really bad habit in the past of, if things weren't working out the way that I needed them to at the moment, I would just quit it. I would just be done. I wouldn't like to push myself if I was at a crossroad, and I wasn't getting exactly the results I wanted before, and so I felt like I was doing all this work and it just really wasn't going anywhere. And so to have something that, as soon as I cleansed, weight started coming off and my energy was high and I wanted to go to the gym and I wanted to achieve all these things, it was just like this mental thing that just clicked on in my mind. You know, I was like, okay, I don't need to have fat burners all day in order for me to do something. And just making sure that I was like sticking with that and making sure that I still kept going to the gym, even though I felt like it was getting easier. I feel like when I in my mind, when stuff starts getting easier, that I cut myself some slack. You know, I'm like, oh, it's already easy, so, you know, I don't have to go to the gym today because, like, you know, it's working, you know, and then I would go backwards. And so I think that staying consistent and making sure that I was ordering my stuff every month, that it wasn't a 1 month fix, you know, that I had to keep going, was something that was really important to me.
So knowing that consistency was like one of your biggest obstacles, what are some key things that really helped you be able to achieve the success that you have?
I didn't realize it at the moment, but I think as soon as I saw what it was doing for me, I really, really liked the idea that I can give that to somebody else. I loved that. I was like, how many people need this? And I think that's what kept me going, because I was like, I started seeing the other side, the income side, after that, because I had been involved in a network marketing company before, just with a product I really didn't believe in very much, but I had a good understanding of network marketing from a book I pretty much accidentally read. I was meaning to read one book and I accidentally read another book, which was Business of the 21st Century. And so that kind of I'm trying to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it had changed my idea about network marketing. And so I had that in the back of my mind, hadn't found a company, didn't know anything, but I was like, from being a cocktail waitress, where your job is making people's bodies more ill, it was so nice to have something where I was sharing something that was physically making me feel better. I walked around in a smoke-filled room all day long, and it smelled like cigarettes every day that I left there, and I just felt so gross. And I would have this like little skirt on and just have people, you know, it wasn't me. And so I was like, I was finally doing something where I was like, I feel so good at the end of the day. And I feel physically good, and I feel good sharing it with people. And I know that I'm giving them something that they can never come back to me one day and be like, why did you do this to me? Or why did you do that? You know, something that people could thank me for. And I think that was what was worth the consistency. It was worth me going every single day, even when it got hard and all that kind of stuff. I loved the idea that I can learn from something from before and just kind of twist it over and be like, you can have this too. Let's do it together.
I love that, Donna. I love that you share that. Like, it was almost like the idea of you being able to help someone else with our system is what held you accountable for your own self. And I love the idea of that, because I never really thought about it that way, you know, because I have a very different story and a very different start to all of this. And so I think that that's beautiful. I think that that's so freaking awesome to be able, you know, to hold yourself accountable by how much you can help other people. I think that that's really, really cool. And, you know, it's crazy because it's stuff we do all the time anyway. Like my husband and I just moved from the Savannah area to the Atlanta area in December. And I met some really amazing friends here. And literally, I was thinking about it the other day. Every single thing that I do, or like the school that my kid goes to, and like all this stuff, they were all recommended to me by somebody else. It wasn't like I went out and did the research and like found all this stuff on my own. It was recommended to me by a friend. And so how cool is it that we're in an industry where you can truly bless people's lives? And it's not only blessing people's lives, but it's holding you accountable and then allowing you to grow as well financially. So I think that that's really awesome.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's what you just said. That's so cool about that you had people that you like had talked to, and that's why you're in every single thing. Because some people are like, oh yeah, well, I saw an ad for it, and I was like, even if you see an ad for it, you're still gonna go on Yelp or somewhere else, and you're still gonna find out real people's opinions about stuff. Like it's not just an ad. Like people just think that, I don't know. It's just so weird. I love that you said that, because it's like everything really is recommendation, no matter what. We pay to get rid of ads. Like,
yeah. Well, and not even just that, but like the rapport that I have with the people who made those recommendations. Like I know a friend of mine is not going to send their kid to a bad school. You know what I mean? And so that's how, and it's also had me questioning things that, you know, maybe not questioning things, but thinking of doing things that I never thought about doing before. You know what I mean? And so that's the part that I think is really cool and beautiful about it. So where do you see yourself within our company in the next 5 years?
I have like really, really high goals.
You have what?
I have really high goals. Financially, well, body-wise, I see myself just getting more and more healthy, and that's just something that I've put into my mind, that I'm like, I only want to believe thoughts. And this is something I learned from David Wood. He's incredible, but he said that he only believes a thought in his head if it's positive, and he will not even entertain anything if it's negative. If it's negative, he just flat out does not believe it. He just will only believe it if it's positive. And so I hope in the next 5 years to inspire people enough to truly have a passion for Isagenix, but financially, I see myself as a top earner. I have had that since I started seeing and go. I went to New Year's kickoff right after I had started, that January after I started, and my parents got to go with me, and it was just seeing people on stage. I was like, that's what I want. And it's not even the money side. I loved how happy they were, and I loved the people that they were surrounded with, and I loved that they had a team and a following, and that everybody was just doing what they needed to do. And it's not even a certain income amount that I want to. And you know, top earner to me has nothing to do with the money, but I have every dollar that is earned is somebody's life being impacted. And so I'm like, all that would just be like impact on me. And I think that would be so cool to just be like, I earned $1 million this year, and I earned $1 million because I helped this many people. And that's so cool to me, and that I can give that back. There's just so many people that I want to help. And I feel stuck sometimes because I'm like, oh, I just want to give you so much more. And in my mind, my best help that I could ever possibly give them is Isagenix. It's weird. Like I was telling my team that there's times where I'll feel guilt if I don't talk to somebody, and I'm like, why don't I talk to them? Like, what is wrong with me? Why didn't I say something to them? I could see that they had a pain, and I took my own mentality and I put it on them. And so I'm trying harder to make sure that nobody could ever come up to me and be like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me you had something so beautiful that could have blessed my life? And that, you know, I want to be able that everybody in my life could be like, I know you told me about it. I know that you were so excited and passionate about it. And thank you for sharing it with me. Whether I chose to or not, I am grateful that you did share it with me. And so I just want to have that type of impact. That I like the ripple effect. I love the idea that my decision has affected somebody else that I have no idea about. And, you know, I was telling you before that my biggest transformation through Isagenix has not really, it's been physical. Like I haven't really gained back a ton of the weight from before, you know, or anything like that. I'm still lean, like, but it's more of my mentality. I am mentally stronger and more compassionate. I was telling one of my teammates earlier that the industry itself has taken me, I was very scared of people. And that sounds so weird, but I was just so scared of everybody. And since Isagenix, it just has pushed me into loving more people. And I think that's because I'm fed with the right things. I think it's a mental clarity that I have. I think it's an energy that I have. I'm putting better things in my body, so my body's projecting better energy on other people. I'm surrounded by people like you on our team, and Jonathan and Jim and all these people that are just so mentally aware that I'm like, I that's who I want to be like. So I love going and hearing what you guys are saying and talking about and doing all that kind of stuff, because I've noticed that my mental state from where I was before and the things that I've gone through in the last 3 years, I don't think I could have done it if I wouldn't have had Isagenix in my life. And not just for the food or anything, but the culture and the people and the way that they help you think and the way that the personal development that they care about. I mean, I've never seen a company that actually cares so much about the person you become. I'm like, this is kind of the equivalent of having a Costco membership if you really think about it. And it's like Costco caring about you and how you're thinking after you leave, you know? I'm like, Costco doesn't care about your membership past you purchasing there, you know, and you getting 2% back maybe. And I'm like, they care. They care enough that they want you to become a good person and achieve higher. And I haven't found anything else in my life that really wants me to be a super well-balanced person besides church and stuff. But besides that, I've never found anything in my life that really cares about me and becoming a better human and making the world a better place and a healthier place. And, you know, and I feel like we need that these days. There's just so much negativity out there. And I know that I can always go to the start page or Together We Will page, and it's just ransacked with positivity. Like, even if I was purposely trying to be negative, I could not go in there and stay negative. And I think it's beautiful. I have a friend that I talked to online, and I saw that she was sad, and I was like, I can I just put you in a group just to help you, like, because it makes me happy and maybe it might make you happy, you know? And so it's, I don't know, I love that about it. And so, you know, that mental side and everything, I just hope that I can give that to other people in the future.
I love your passion, and I want to take it back a little bit. First, I want to go back. You had said that, and I didn't catch this before, so I just want to clarify this. When we were talking about macros and stuff, you kind of said that you felt like tracking everything on MyFitnessPal helped you as far as like from an eating disorder standpoint. Isagenix doesn't cure or treat or any diseases or anything like that. We don't make any claims at all. So I just wanted to make sure to say that, because you weren't even referring to that. You were more referring to the idea of tracking stuff on MyFitnessPal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so because I was doing the macro counting and I was doing it through the form of if it fits your macros. So the idea behind that is if it fits into the numbers, because there's a certain amount for your body of fats, proteins, and carbs for the specific goal that you're trying to hit. So if you're trying to gain lean muscle, or if you're trying to gain muscle, you know, there's certain macros that you have to hit. If you're trying to cut, there's certain macros, you know, it's going to be different proportions of what you're supposed to hit. And so with the IIFYM mentality, you just kind of squeeze everything in. And obviously stuff has to be clean and all that kind of stuff. And so that helped me. MyFitnessPal helped me. And IIFYM helped me with not being so obsessed if I wanted to have a cookie, because then I'd track that cookie and I'd put it into MyFitnessPal, and then I can eat that cookie without any guilt, because I knew in the morning I was going to be leaner. And most of the time I was leaner. I could have a cheeseburger, and if it fit in my numbers, I could eat it happily without any guilt, and then wake up in the morning and still have a six-pack, which was the most incredible feeling in the entire world. Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. I should have done that earlier, but I just wanted to make sure that we clarified that. But going back to what you said, I kind of want to bring this back a little bit too, because you said that you want to be, you know, you see yourself in the next 5 years as being one of the top earners in our company. And what that means for you means that you've created an income around yourself, but that income just shows how many people that you have impacted. And so I want to bring it back to where you were talking about being a cocktail waitress, and you're talking about only having $7 in your bank account before you started with Isagenix. They say that an extra $500 a month, that's it, $500 a month could change everything for a family today. That's it, $500 a month. And the reason why I think it's really important to talk about this is because I think people get the perception that we come into network marketing and like we just want to make a lot of money, right? And that it's about us and us making a lot of money. But it's not really. The money, like you said, the money just means that we've impacted more and more lives, right? And so the beauty of being a top income earner and the beauty of being able to stand on that stage means that you've built a team of people who surround you, that you have helped to earn extra income. Because if you're a top income earner, then you're helping other cocktail waitresses fill their bank accounts. And not only that, but you just talked about the culture of Isagenix and the personal development and what you go through as a person to become this much better person on the other side, and how much our company cares so much about the person that we become. And that's really what it means to be a top income earner. And I wanted to make sure that people really understood that about our company and about what we do, because this, you know, truly is a gift that we offer to other people, and whether or not someone wants to receive it is up to them. But I think that what you shared is beautiful, and I think that you are so, I know I can feel how passionate you are about it. I can feel how much you want to impact so many other people's lives on an even deeper level, and it inspires me to keep going and move forward. And so I love that you shared that, Donna. It gave me goosebumps at times. And I love that you talk about the personal development part of this journey, because I feel like that's been the most significant part for me as well. Yeah. So I love that. So I have two more questions for you, and then we're going to end it. I know that we're running a little bit long, but my next question is do you believe that anybody is capable of achieving the success that you have achieved?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's made so easy, and it just sounds so wrong to make it say it's easy, because people think like easy, it's just going to be easy, but there's so many tools out there for our success, especially within the company. But not only, you know, even if somebody doesn't want to do the income earning side, even if they don't want to, I mean, I don't know why, especially after what we were just talking about and the impact that other people have. You know, you can't make it to the top by yourself. You need to have a team. It's lonely by yourself if you do that. You know, I would not ever want to be a top income earner by myself. I would need to have other people around me, because it's no fun going to the Bahamas by yourself. Like, why would you want to do that, you know? So it's, but I do feel like anybody could do it. And it's not for everyone. And that's the kind of thing, the more I've been in it, I've recognized that there are some people that maybe it's not their time right now. They're not at that space. But I do feel like anybody who truly wants a great life, not just a good life, because some people are okay with a good life and that keeps them from having a great life, but somebody who really wants to do something better would really benefit from something like this and be able to do it. I think anybody can, and they have a system, and how you do anything is how you do everything. And I feel like Isagenix really does that really well, because they came up with a system of simplicity for nutrition, where it's just like, you do this, you do this, you do this, you don't have to think about it. And then they do that with their compensation plan. They do that with their culture. They do that with their tools. Every single thing is a system that all you have to do is plug into. Like any new job, any new thing that you do, most places, they'll give you minimal and then you have to try and like really figure it out. Where with this, it's like, no, we have so many people that have already done it this exact way. Like, you don't have to recreate anything. You just need to plug in. Like, you don't need to make a new shake. We already have a shake for you. You don't need to build a new cleanse. We already have a cleanse for you. Just stick it into the system and be able to live your life. And I hadn't mentioned before, but I'm 100% on the road all the time. I'm full-time traveler. And if I did not have something like Isagenix that I could just plug into my life, I would not be sitting here, because it's so easy for me to have something that I can order that's ready for me in 30 seconds, that I'm not, running around in a small little town that I'm visiting, going to every diner, trying to figure out if they have egg whites and this and that. And I don't have a refrigerator for the most part. I'm at my parents' house right now because I'm about to leave on a trip, but I don't have a burner and I don't have a refrigerator. And so how much easier is it for me to get a pack wherever I'm at, whatever hotel or Airbnb that I'm at? I get a pack and I don't have to sit there and be like, ooh, I wonder what I'm going to eat for the majority of the day today. Ooh, I wonder if I have to have this all day. Ooh, I wonder where this is coming from. Is this really organic? And should I pay $15 for this? Like, those thoughts, like, I can fill my mind with new things that are like actually helpful in my life, instead of having to sit there all day over something as ridiculous as trying to figure out what my food is. I it seems sad to say ridiculous, but it's like, there's so many things in my mind that and things I want to do in my life, and having to figure out what I need to do to cleanse my body. I'd rather just have a little thing of cleanse, know that it works, and go on my way and like live my life, No,
I love that. And I love that you share that, because you are literally on the road 24/7 traveling. You're about to go to Bali, right? And you're going to
leave to Shanghai.
Ah.
And then, we booked tickets last month. We're like at brunch, and we're, since we have such an open schedule, there's this really cool app called Hopper, and you can kind of look throughout the whole year and see, when you can travel and when the cheapest time is, like, from the whole year. And so we're like, kind of put a little alert on Bali, and it came up while we were at brunch, and it was $480 round trip to go to Bali. And we're like, yes, we got to do this, like right now, let's buy it right now. And so we bought the tickets like right there, and then it tells us where we're stopping, and it's Shanghai. And I was like, Shanghai, like, I know that something just came out over there that I really want to go to. And I was like, Disneyland was just built. And so we have an exact like 12-hour period. We get there at 6 a.m. and we leave at 6 p.m. And it's like 10 minutes away from the airport. And so we're like, I mean, you can get a visa there, $144 or 144-hour visa for free if you're in transit. And so we get to go, and so it's only $50 to go to Disneyland because it's so much cheaper over there. And so we're like, okay, we're gonna go to Disneyland, and then we get back on the plane and we go to Bali for 8 or 9 days.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so freaking cool. You're gonna have a blast.
I can't believe it's tomorrow that we're leaving.
Yeah.
Like, I just remembered that. I'm like, I haven't really packed anything. My stuff is always
my
packed.
gosh.
My stuff is like, I don't have very much stuff. I gave everything away a couple months ago, so I really only have a luggage. So it's really easy for me to like pack up and go.
Okay, well, since you're so busy, I have one more question for you, and then we can close it out for the night. So thinking back to when you were a cocktail waitress and when you were kind of struggling and down and you didn't have the mindset that you have now, what's one thing that you could share that might help someone else who's struggling? Like someone else who might be unhappy with their weight, or someone who might be just unhappy in general and feeling like everything is difficult. What's one thing that you could share that could help bring them out of that type of mindset?
Stop thinking that things are too good to be true. It's probably like so many times I hear people and they're in like such a bad spot mentally. And then when something good like Isagenix comes into their life, they're like, oh yeah, that's too good to be true. You know, and if I would have thought that, I wouldn't be here right now. If I would have thought, and when I went into that meeting, oh, this is just a bunch of, you know, crap that they're saying, and they just want to make money off of me, and, you know, this isn't going to work, and, you know, these people are just full of it. Don't resist. If you're asking for something with a pure heart and you really need a solution, and somebody comes up to you with a solution, stop trying to dissect every little thing and say, this is wrong and this is wrong. And I understand being careful, but stop thinking that everything else, stop thinking that God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in is out to get you. Something I learned was that everything is rigged in our favor if we really believe that. And I have a notification that comes on my phone, and it might be on my iPad right now, popped up like 8 or 9 times, but it says everything is rigged in my favor. And it just comes up as a reminder all the time. And so if there's something that seems like it's kind of bad, I'm like, this is for me. I don't know how or why, but it's just rigged in my favor. This is something that's supposed to happen. And something usually happens that's really good. Somebody says no to me, and I'm like, dang it. And I'm like, well, that's for me. And then the next person, you know, says yes, and I'm able to help them and bless them. So it's just stop thinking that things are too good to be true. Stop thinking that I think it's a deserving thing. You don't feel like you deserve it, or, you know, you have to struggle. You don't have to struggle. If somebody's giving you a good option for it, run with it. You know, if it feels right to you and it's presented to you, and, you know, there's even a hint of you wanting to do something with it, go with it. So stop making excuses of, you know, I don't have money. I didn't have money. I didn't have this. I didn't have that. But I was told the night before, if you ask for something with a pure intent and it's presented to you, to go with it. And I did that, and it's only blessed my life. I can't say one bad thing about anything with Isagenix. Like, ever in my life. I could never. And I know that, you know, everybody that I've helped, you know, that's really given it a full effort, and everybody in my life that I've seen, same thing, you know. And whether it's in Isagenix or whatever else, I've seen people be successful in all different types of avenues. But, you know, if somebody's having a hard time and real estate comes into their life, and, you know, go for it, do it. That's just, it's in your life for a reason. You need something. You know, if somebody's giving you an option and you want to lose those pounds and you're seeing transformation after transformation every single week, it's going to keep coming up until you make a decision to change it. Like, so people being, oh, that person is like that and I don't deserve that, or I can never achieve that. Nothing is too good to be true unless that's what you make it to believe. Nothing is anything unless you make it that way, you know? So I feel like people sabotage themselves too much, and I always want to shake people and be like, stop doing this to yourself. You're making it worse by like resisting. Don't resist. The universe doesn't like, it likes for you to surrender, you know, and then that's where it opens up this faucet of abundance for you. If you're not, you know, if you have a faucet and you just keep like, you know, all these blessings are trying to come out of it, and you keep blocking it off, nothing's going to come out, you know, like it still needs to come out. It's still owed to you. You're abundant. Everybody is owed all the beauty and abundance in the world, but people block themselves from it. It's not that it doesn't want to come to you. It's that you're blocking it somehow. So just unblock that.
I love that, Donna. And you know, I ask everyone that question. And I think the answer that you gave is one of my favorite ones, is, you know, stop telling yourself it has to be hard. And you're never going to move forward unless you let in the things that are there to help you. So thank you so much for being here, especially with such your busy plans tomorrow. I'm so excited to hear all about your trip.
I'm glad that I just registered that I'm leaving tomorrow and that I need to.
Yes.
Like, oh, I have everything. And right now I was thinking about it. I was like, but I'm going to take care of that.
Go pack, and thank you so much, you guys. I hope you got value out of tonight. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Donna. I'm going to tag her in this video so that you guys can see her page as well. So thank you so much, Donna. Have an amazing trip.
I love that you do this, and I'm so grateful for you. And every single time you write anything, it's just so full of love and compassion, and you know, everything you do to me is just so magical and beautiful, and I'm just so grateful for you.
Aw, thanks so much, Donna. That really means a lot. I'm so grateful for you. Anytime I talk to you, it's always so much fun, and you bring my energy so up, and I love talking to you. So thank you so much. You guys, I hope you have an amazing rest of your Tuesday night. Thank you so much for being with us. I'll be back on Friday with another really awesome entrepreneur with their story. We'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.